Wine is the offspring of land, but also of culture and tradition of man. In respect of the land, in respect of our ancient oplenac vineyards, and our village of Vincia, which, in the ancient Roman times, was named after wine, from the Latin word of vincere, we have restored old family vineyards and brought up new ones, in places which have been mentioned in the tales of old, in the memory of the people and in the ancient records, as places that have always given birth to the best wine of the oplenac region. In respect of the family traditions, old oplenac wine growers, we took a vow. Oplenac will once again be enveloped by vines, and Vincia will again be Vincea, a village made of wine. Just as man, a wine has its own lineage, not only in its roots, dug into the land, but also in the time that men devoted to it, crafting it through generations. This is, at the same time, the spiritual lineage of every winemaker. Inscribed in the lineage of our wine are Roman legionnaires, who named our village Vincea, enjoying the wine from this land, replenishing their strength to defend limes on the Danube. In the bark of our vines, chiseled in are the names of the wine growers, who had intertwined oplenacs in a wreath of grapes, nurturing medieval monastery lands, or caring for the wine destined for the royal table of despot Stefan Lazarevich. The sweat of farmers, wine growers runs through the roots of our vines. Those who established the Vencets Winemaker Cooperative at the dawn of the 20th century, which, at the time, was an unbelievable winery, furnished with electricity at a time when Belgrade was still lit up by gas lamps. The winery was producing bubbly wines when the very few in Serbia had even heard of champagne. The lineage of our wine is enlightened by the crown of the Karađorđević dynasty, crowns of King Petar I and Alexander, who have built a cellar at the foot of Oplenac between two world wars to produce wine for European courts. Their unique vineyard, spreading over 100 hectares, was destroyed in the days of communist rule, but it is being lovingly restored by the King Petar I Karađorđević Foundation. We had the honor to participate in their renewal of their first wine. But before that, we had the honor and the privilege to give Serbia back its first great wine after more than 70 years. Triumph, having received the original recipe of varieties from the former royal winekeeper Živan Tadić, who immigrated to Canada after World War II. Triumph used to be the leading wine of the royal cellar, the banner of Oplenac winemaking. Today, the Triumph is our icon and is placed at the top of our spiritual lineage. In an effort to bring together the centuries, our memories and tales of our grandfathers and our spiritual fathers, we have, however, also nurtured a wine that will tell the story of our lineage in years to come. Its name is Rodoslov. Who among us owes nothing to wine? Is the question put before us and before himself by the greatest of Serbian writers, Nobel Prize winner Ivo Andrić, in his famous essay, Wine. Is there anyone in our spiritual, Serbian, Balkan, and European space to whom wine brings absolutely no memories? Not a single powerful thought on his own life, on the paths, faces, and landscapes that live inside us forever. From our christening to our death, from early loved ones to late ones, from youthful associations to lifetime friendships, wine has a magical power of awakening our memories, making us stop and think, reminisce about our very lives, and that, within it, we treasure the most. These are our memories of times we shared with loved ones. The wine, however, also awakens our memories of the times when it had not been present in our lives, The times when Serbian traditions, Serbian households, and Serbian winemaking were in decay. We also remember the times when our grandfathers cleared their vineyards and shut down their cellars because they did not want to pour their wine down the gorge of communist wine industry. But we also remember the times when our grandfathers and our fathers, with a few lines left to them, brought out their wines to family table on our family holidays, solemnly, respectfully, as they were placing the candle dedicated to the family's saint protector, to pray and thank God on their peace of heaven and earth. With this memory at the end of 20th century, one spring morning we planted the first vine of our new wine. Solemnly, respectfully, as if we were placing the Saint Protector's candle on our table. This candle lit our path, the path of wine. The scents of grape and wine are the scents of our childhood. These are unusual scents, born from the land of Oplenac. Those scents that hit you so hard that they make you stop in your tracks, to wake from a dream, remembering certain days, loved ones, or certain simple life pleasures, which we often forget. These are the scents of the vineyard peaches in the blossom of grandfather's vineyard, scents of grapes hanging from the vines in which we would hide in our childhood games. These are the scents of the forests of Oplenac and the first boletes after the rain, the white flowers painting the meadows beneath our vineyards overnight, the scents of ripening peaches and apricots in our father's orchard. This is linden in May in Uncle's yard, fresh cut grass, radiating its scent over the hills of Oplenac, while the mowers wipe their dripping brows, tossing loud jokes and laughter to and fro. These are the dried fruits on Christmas Eve. It is also the scent of a freshly pressed tablecloth on the family holiday, with mother draping it over the table, filling it with scents of food, grown by her own hands in the garden by her house. This is the scent of merrymaking throughout the night of celebration of the family saint, when the nearest and dearest, gathered at the table, raise their glasses of Oplenac wine and sing until daybreak. These are the scents, the colors, and tastes we seek in our wines. Triumph was our first wine, our first winemaker's fear, our gaze at the sky, but also our first winemaking hope, the wonderful feeling inside the stomach that only a winemaker knows well while he listens to the brewing in his cellar. Triumph was also a great obligation, a serious word, forgotten in Serbian winemaking, which we had to say again, loud and clear. And we tried to, in vain, for 10 years, until we finally got to know our grapes and our land. And then, the vintage of 2002 brought us the crop we had been waiting for. Then we stood before the people and said it loud and clear. This is Triumph. Born again after 70 years, we offer it to you to recognize in it the sense of our land. The story of time, of its glory, and its oblivion. Encouraged, we produced the first Serbian Barik wine, Triumph Barik. From the underappreciated grapes Muscat, Hamburg, we created the most popular Serbian rose, Varianta. We started the elite line of red wines, Alexander, Triumph Noir, Vizia, Rodoslav. Wines that are kept maturing in oak for at least 2 years. And finally, as a tribute to the Venac cooperatives, we are once again producing bubbly wines in Šumadija. In the meanwhile, Triumph wine was named one of the greatest Serbian brands in total. By accepting this award, we have realized something unusual. We had never thought that a wine could become a brand. Yet, it happened. Maybe it was because, while nurturing the wines, we never thought of them as brands. Maybe this is the only way for the wine to become a brand. We realize one more thing. You must never forget the past if you want to create a wine for the future. There is time for everything, as the Holy Bible says. Time to be born and time to die. Time for joy and time for sorrow. Everything about the wine is a matter of time. Time it takes for the wines to start bearing fruit. Time for the wine grower to get to know his vineyard. Time for the cellar keeper to find what care a wine from certain vineyard needs. Time for the wine to mature. Time for people to get to know it and love it. Time it takes both the wine grower and the wine maker to grasp if they are on the right path. The wine requests that you find the time to dedicate to it, to find the time for your loved ones that you want to share with, to find the time for your loved ones that you want to share it with. When we speak of our wine, we speak of the times of birth and death, disaster and triumph, sorrow and joy, but also on the fact that we have devoted all our passion, all our knowledge, all our time to the quest for a wine underneath a corner of heaven, above Oplanets. Wine is a quest for colors of the dusk and the dawn of that one corner of heaven under which you have planted your grapevine, hoping that one day it will reveal to you what it whispers with the heavens at dawn, or when the night descends over its leaves and grapes. Quest for the scents of the earth and the fruit it bears. Quest in memories and in dreams. Quest for perfection, for that one perfect drop that brings revelation and uncovers the secret liaison between nature, vine, and man. Our quest is not complete. On the contrary, it is just beginning, without the illusion that the secret will be revealed someday. But what is in store for us on this path? That is the exciting part. Join us. Alexandrovich Wine Cellar is a household now encompassing 50 acres of vineyards, owned or leased. A state-of-the-art wine cellar of 2,000 meters squared, with the capacity of producing 500,000 liters of wine per year, with a tasting hall that can take over 200 visitors at any one time. But before all, Alexandrovich Wine is recognized by its wines: Oplanets, Charisma, Triumph, Triumph Barrique, Varianta, Euphoria, Tema, Regent, Vizia, Triumph Noir, Rodoslav. These are the wines that we want to present you our land, our history, our culture and tradition, as well as our vision for the future.